that you guys wrote, the November mock that you wrote, and I hope this will come handy. Those of you who have got most of the questions correct, so for that reason you can play this video at 1.5x speed so that you can actually see this video quickly compared to because I would be going little slow so that everyone understands it, and this may come handy for your other friends in other classes and they can also learn through it. So moving ahead, the very first question that we have got, it is quite straightforward in my opinion. You have to just do what you do to solve an equation. You just have got an inequality, so you will proceed. You can move this 11 to other side, or you can say that you are subtracting 11n from both the sides. So you will have 14n minus 11n is greater than 6. That will give you 3n is greater than 6. It implies that you can divide both sides by 3. N is greater than 2. So that's what my answer is, n is greater than 2. Now, an important thing that I would like to mention here, that if I had a negative number, let's say if I had, instead of having 3n, if I have got negative 3n, and if I was dividing both sides by negative number, I have to change this inequality sign. So that's a very important thing. Whenever you are multiplying or dividing by a negative number, the inequality changes. So remember that. Now here we are, the part B of the question. It's for 3 marks and it is quite interesting. So here we have got negative 2 is less than x plus 3 is less than or equal to 4. Now you see, we need the values of x. Here we have got x plus 3. We must get rid of this 3. In order to get rid of this 3, can we subtract 3 from all of them, all of these 3? Can we write minus 3 here? Because I can add or subtract a number, a same number throughout without changing the inequality. So this will give me negative 5 is less than x, because this positive and negative 3 will cancel out each other, is less than or equal to 1. So I have got negative 5 is less than x is less than or equal to 1. So it means I must include 1, and I have to create a dot or a empty circle at negative 5, and I will draw this line. So x can be any value between negative 5 except negative 5. We are not including it, that's why this circle is there, till 1. So we are including 1, that's why we have actually filled it up. So that's what my answer is, and if you have done it, you would have got 5 out of 5. Moving ahead. Okay, disclaimer, like this question, so Dion needs 50 gram of sugar to make 15 biscuits. She also needs 3 times as much flour as sugar, 2 times as much butter as sugar. Dion is going to make 60 biscuits. Now, whenever I get a question like this, the first thing that I would like to do is that I like to write the information that I have got. Because you have to understand that questions like this, where the situation has been given to you, you are basically translating this English statements into mathematical statements. So you are going to write some expression out of it. So for the starting process, for the calculating the amount of flour, what we have to do, we know that 50 grams are required for 15 biscuits. Okay, so can we see that how much would be required for one biscuit? So for 15 we need 50. For 50 biscuits we need 50 grams. So basically, if I want to make one biscuit, I would take how much? Here I'm going to divide 50 by 15, and this will give me 10 over 3 grams basically. Now in order to make 60 biscuit, how much flour I will need? So for 60 biscuits, I would do 10 over 3 times 60. That would be, this is the amount of sugar, by the way. So we are talking about sugar first. So if we will do it, we will need 200 grams of sugar. So she also needs 3 times as much flour as sugar. So if she is requiring 200 grams of sugar, so in order to have calculate the flour, the amount of flour is going to be 3 times the amount of sugar. So that's going to be 200 gram. 3 times 200 gram, that's going to be 600 gram, and that's what my answer is. So you can see that how the questions difficulty increases. Like the first question would be quite accessible compared to the second question, and the we try to, like, this is how the exam boards try to give you questions. Basically, the difficulty or the demand of a question rises linearly. So for every new question that would be coming to you, that would be more challenging compared to the previous one. So Dion has to buy all the butter she needs to make 60 biscuits. She buys butter in 250-gram packs. Now, yeah, these type of questions are quite interesting, because one of the reason is because you are buying 250 grams of packs, and perhaps you might get something like 450 gram. Now, if you are going for 450 gram, basically you need to buy 2 packs, because this is a discrete data. You can't get 450 gram because one pack contains 250 gram. If you need 450, you need to buy 2 packs basically. So here what we are going to do, so we have got we need to find the amount of butter. So 2 times as much butter as sugar. So 2 times, so twice means, so 200 times 2, that is, she will need 200, or they will need 200 grams, sorry, 400 grams. 200 times 2, that is 400 grams. And since one pack contains only 250 gram, in order to have 400 gram, they have to buy 2 packs. So 2 is my answer. Let's move to the third question. Rick and Selma and Tony are playing a game with counters. Rick has some counters. Selma has twice counters as Rick. So I can assume that, let's say Rick has X number of counters. Selma has twice counter as many as Rick. So Selma has 2x. Tony has 6 counter less than Selma. So this is 2x minus 6. Now, in total they have got 54 counters. So basically this type of problems are known as, in maths we call it writing algebraic equation from a situation that you have got. So if I have written this, so let's continue. They have got total 54. So if I add x plus 2x minus 6, it should be equal to 54. Now you have got an equation, guys. Once you have got the equation, you can actually solve it. Now, what else that is given to us? The number of counter Rick has, the number of counters Tony has, it has got a ratio of 1:p. So basically we first need to find how much Rick has got, how much Tony has got, and if we find the ratio, we should be able to get the value of p. So the first step should be that we find how much Rick, Selma and Tony has got individually. So in order to do so, we will just solve this equation. I have got 5x minus 6 is equal to 54. Moving 6 to the other side, which is like I'm adding 6 to both sides, which will give me 60. X is equal to 12, divided both sides by 5, and I got 12. Now, if I have 12, it means that Rick has got 12 counters. It means Tony has got 12 times 2 minus 6, that's 24 minus 6, that's 18. And if we take the ratio, that how much Rick over Tony have got, that would be 12 over 18, and we need to write it in this form, 1:p. So basically I have to divide both this numerator and denominator by 12 so that I can get 1. So 12 divided by 12, that's 1. 18 divided by 12, that would be 3/2. So I can write 1:1.5, or I can write 1:1/2. So that's what my answer is. So P is basically 1.5 or 3/2, or if you want to write it in mixed fractions, 1/2. That is also fine. Aha, so this is the question from geometry, mensuration questions, one of my favorites. Let's see what we have to do here. So the container is 2/3 full of water. So the cup holds 250 milliliters of water. What is the greatest number of cups that can be completely filled with water from the container? Okay, now first of all, we do not know how much full of water is, like what is the total capacity of this container is, or this cuboid is. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to find what is my volume. So the volume of the cuboid gonna be 19 times 6 times 30. You can use 180 times 90. So 180 times 19, that is 3420. And now what is 2/3 of that? So that's what the question asked. So according to question, it is 2/3 full. So 2/3 of 3420. So let's find what it is. Dividing it by 3, timing it by 2. So that's gonna be 2280 centimeter cubed. Okay, that's centimeter cube. Here, one thing that we are going to assume, that since we are looking at water, we are assuming that the water is same as distilled water, and here 1 centimeter cube is equal to 1 milliliter. Okay, so I can write that the cube void is filled with 2280 milliliters of water, and since we have got 275 milliliter full, so we are going to divide it by 275, see how much we are getting. So 2280, we are dividing it by 275, that will give me 8.29. So but see, the question is that how many cups that can completely filled. We are able to fill 8 cups and 0.29 of the 9th cup. So we will be able to only fill total 8 cups. That's my answer. If you will write 9, it is wrong, because you are actually not filling the 9th cup. That is only 0.29 filled. It is almost like 1/3 filled. You can't fill it completely. That's what it basically means. So moving ahead. So this question is something that is like a very scoring question. You need to substitute the value and you have to get an answer for it. So if you will substitute -1 here, you will get 1 plus 3, 4 plus 1, that is 5. And then you put 2 here, so 4 minus 6, that's -2 plus 1 minus -2 plus 1, that's -1. Okay, that's very interesting. If you put 3 there, so you can use your calculator basically for this type of questions, and I'm doing it in my head, so I like doing this kind of questions. So -9 plus 1, so that will give me 1, and I have got 16 minus 12, so that's gonna be 4 plus 1, that's 5. Okay, so that's what my equation is. Clearly it's a quadratic equation that we have got, and we can plot it. So for -1 we have to go for 5, and for, if you see here, for 0 we have got 1, that's where 1 is, and for 1 we have got -1, and for 2 we have got again -1, for 3 we have got 1, and for 4 we have got 5 again. So a very nice curve that can be drawn. So I'm just trying to draw it. Apologies for my poor drawing. This is how I can draw it. Yeah, so 2 marks for filling the values and 2 marks for drawing the graph. Using the graph, find the estimate of the solution of this equation. So you see where it is intersecting, and that's what your answer is gonna be. So if I look here, I think this is what my point of intersection is. So one of the point that I can write here is clearly 2.6 comma 0. That's what my one answer would be, and the another one is somewhere here, which I can say clearly 0.4, maybe 0.1 to 3, 0.3. So I will just take 0.3 comma 0, and that's what my answers are. So nice plotting of graph question that we got. Now we are at question number 6. Let's see how we can do it. Now, for these type of question, I always think that you have to understand the context. I always ask my students to read question again and again. You can't just go back and just deal with numbers and variables. You need to understand the context that the question is asking you to look for. So here what we have got. So the diagram shows rectangle STUV. So we have got a rectangle, nice rectangle we have got. TQU is one line and SRV is one line. All measurements are in centimeter. The area of the trapezium Q, so QUVR, so this trapezium that we have got here, that area is given to us. So basically this, let me just go for a little thinner one. Yeah. Okay. I prefer using the pens which are like quite pointed. So this is much better than the previous one. Yeah. So the it is a centimeter square. Show that this is the area. Okay, fine. This is a trapezium. I know that if it is a trapezium, if I add the parallel sides, so these two sides are parallel. Like you can see, these are parallel. If because STUV is a rectangle, so they have to be parallel. The opposite sides have to be parallel. So the area of a trapezium, isn't that half sum of parallel sides times the height? So what is my parallel side? So half, this side is 5 plus this side, what it's gonna be, it is, the total is 5 plus 3x. If I subtract 2x from it, so I can just write 5 plus x. This is what my 5 plus x is. So 5 plus x times the height. The height is 4x. Let's write 4x. Okay, I can cancel it out. So I have got 10 plus x times 2x. Remember, this 4x was there and I was having 2 in the denominator, so I cancelled one of the 2's, and now I will expand the bracket. So I will have 20x plus 2x square, and that's what my area of trapezium should be. That should be my A, QED, done and dusted. We'll move ahead. Now, if you think I'm going too fast, you can even slow down the video and you can watch it, or you can always go back. So that's why I have uploaded it. You can re-watch the section whichever are not making any sense to you. Yes, and there are alternative method that some of the students have used, like they have divided it into a rectangle and a triangle, and then they have added the areas. That's perfectly all right. I know that what it is a trapezium, and I know what area of a trapezium is. I would like to go with this method because that's very straightforward for me. All right, so we are at question number 7. Let's see what we have got here. All right, so pay attention. A, B, C, D. So 360 pound is shared between Abby, Ben, Chloe, and Dinesh. The ratio of the amount Abby gets to the amount Ben gets is 2:7. Chloe and Devesh each get 1.5 times the Abby, Ben, Chloe, and Dinesh. This is the ratio given to us. So first thing that I'm going to do is that I will add the ratio. That will give me 9. So let's say that if Abby has to get, if the total share that they are getting, the ratio that it is being divided, let's say it is being x. So Abby will get 2/9 of x, and that means that Ben over here, Ben is getting 7/9x, and that also means that Chloe will get 3x/9, and that means Dinesh will get 3x/9. And let's add all of them. So I will have 9 in the denominator, 2x plus 7x plus 3x plus 3x, and that should be equal to 360. And let's see how much we are getting here. So 10, so 15x/9 should be equal to 360, and x is equal to 360 times 9/15. I can cancel it out by 3, so 3 and 5, and if I cancel it out, I will have 7, 72 times 3, that's gonna be 6, and 216. So 216 is the amount that Abby will get, and we know that Ben has to get that 7/9 of it. So I will have 7/9 times 216. That's the Ben's share. Let's see how much it would be. I can use my calculator over here. So let's use our calculator. So we will have 216 times 7 divided by 9. So that's 168 pounds. 168 pound. There can be multiple methods that can be used here actually. If someone can figure it out, that okay, if look at the ratios, the alternative would be, and that can be another easier method. in my opinion, that I'm going to use an orange color for it. So Chloe and Dinesh has to get 1 5 times. So if you look at the ratios, what are the ratios that they are getting? 2 for Abby, Ben is getting 7 share of it, Chloe is getting 3 share of it, and Dinesh is getting again 3 share of it. So you're practically, this is what you are doing. If you add them up, you will get 15. You divide 360 by 15, and that will give you pretty much if you just see 360 divided by 15, so 24, and 24 is the share, the value of one share, and if you multiply it by 7, that's 168. So Ben will get 24 times 7, which is 168. So both are correct methods, so whichever you want. This one makes really more sense to me, so that's what I started with. There can be alternative that can be used, and if you have used it, you must have got it the full marks. So moving ahead, here I have got a easy question. I think this 2 marker was something that everyone should have got correct. So I have to, the standard form basically means that I have to get a times 10 to the power n, where n stands for an integer. So here I need to make, and a is a number between 0, it is greater than 0, it is actually between 1 to 10, and I can include 1 but I can't include 10. So here I will have 5.62. I'm moving this decimal 1 2 3 times, so times 10 to the power minus 3 is my answer. If I have to write it in the ordinary form, so you have to understand 10 cube basically means I'm multiplying it by 1000, so 1452 is my answer. So 1452 and 5.62 times 10 to the power minus 3. Let's move to the next question. Question number 9. Okay, if you're with me till now, that's so good. I hope you have got this question correct. If you haven't, not an issue, you can learn how to do it correctly. So we have got a cube, so and we have got a cuboid. Work out the total surface area. Now you have to understand of the solid. Here, when I'm calculating the total surface area, this surface is hidden. This particular surface is hidden, right? And I should not be including this surface. Also, this surface is going to actually hinder this particular surface that I have got on the top. So what would be area of the top? Let's find that. So it would be 6 times 7. So this area is going to be 6 times 7, which is 42 centimeter square, out of which we are just going to consider I will remove this area, which is 16 centimeter square from it. So let's call this surface as A. So the area that we are going to consider of surface A, that's gonna be 42 minus 16, and it would be equal to 26 centimeter square. Apart from that, you just have to find the surface areas of the remaining surfaces. So the 4 on the sides, 1 in the bottom, and the 4 on the side, and the top of the smaller cube that you have got. So the surface area of the cube would be, that would be 5 times 4, which is basically 5 times 4 times 4, because area of one of the surface would be 16. 16 times 5, that's gonna be 80 centimeter square that I'm going to consider. I'm not considering this bottom one because it is meaningless, that we shouldn't be considering it, we can't see that. So the another surface, so we will be using, from the top we'll be only having 26 centimeter square, and the smaller cube will give me 80 centimeter square. Now we will calculate the area of this surface that we have got here, the bigger cuboid. So here the surface area will come out to be 5 times 6 times 2, because this and this will have the same surface areas. Now I am finding the surface area of the front and the back. That would be 7 times 5 times 2, which would be 60 times 30 times 2, that is 60 centimeter square. And here we will get 35 times 2, which is 70 centimeter square. And also the bottom part, so area of the bottom would be 6 times 7, which would be 42 centimeter square. Now I should just add these 5 surfaces that I have got. So let's add them up. So 26 plus 80 plus 60 plus 70 plus 42 centimeter square, and let's see how much it is equal to. So 6 plus 2, that is 8, and then 4 7 11 17, 17 plus 8 25, 25 plus 2, that is 278 centimeter square. So here it is something that you are using maths in real life context. You have to understand that this surface area should not be considered. You can't actually touch it. Even if you will try to rotate this image, you won't be able to touch it. So you should actually remove that from the total surface area. All right, question number 10, guys. Question number 10 is a wonderful question that we have got right in front of us, and we have to find the estimate of the solution of the simultaneous equations. You have to see that where they are intersecting. Basically, solving simultaneous equation means that the finding point of their intersection. So if I look here, so 2.1, 2.2, 2 point, somewhere between 2.2 and 2.3. So I will just go for 2.25, the x coordinate, and the y coordinate is going to be 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, negative 1.3, negative 1.4. So I will just write negative 1.3. So that's what my answer is. So 2 point, you can have an answer in the range. You know, in these type of questions we have to give an answer in a range. So even if you have written 2.2 to 2.3, any x value, that is correct. And if you have written your answer between negative 1.3 to negative 1.4, that is also correct. So that should be fine. Moving ahead, question number 11 that we have got. So for this question, you will I think they have already arranged it for you, and you need to find the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, the least value, and the greatest value are given to you. So the median, if you will arrange them in the ascending order, so we have got 23. You can use the formula 23 plus 1 divided by 2. That will give you the median, the term 24 divided by 12. So the 12th term is going to be your median. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 59 is my median. The lower quartile, you will use the same formula 23 plus 1 divided by 4 to get the lower quartile value. So the position, basically, not the value, the position. So that is going to be sixth term, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So that's 53. 53 is my lower quartile. The upper quartile that we have to find. So for upper quartile, all you need to do is that multiply the position of the lower quartile with 3. So 3 times 6, which should be 18th term. So the 18th term is, so 12th term was here, 13 14 15 16 17 18th. So 18th term is 66. So that's what my answer is. I'm using the formula here, n plus 1 divided by 2 for the median, n plus 1 divided by 4 for the lower quartile, or we call it Q1. This is my Q2, and for the upper quartile, Q3 is going to be n plus 1 divided by 4 times 3. So this tells you not the value but the position of the term that would be considered the lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile. Okay, so here we have got, here are some information about the ages of the people on coach B. So these are the values that we have got. Richard says that the people on coach A are younger than people on coach B. Is Richard correct? Now if you see here, what is the median? The median that we have got here is 70. It means that 50% of the data that I have got is above 70 and 50% is below 70. Over here the median is 59. So 50% of your values are above 59 and 50% are lower than 59. That basically means that the coach A has got younger people. You can just say yes, because one of the reason could be because coach A has lower median. That's it. That will suffice the purpose. Next is, Richard says that the people on coach A vary more in age than people in coach B. Is he correct or not? So let's see. Over here you see in the coach A, the lower quartile, what is the difference between the lower quartile? I will try to draw a box and whisker plot, because box and whisker plot is the best way to visualize these kind of 5-point summaries. So I'm just drawing a rough box and whisker plot just for our reference. So 41 is here, 53, the median is at 59, the upper quartile is at 66, and the greatest value is 79. Whereas for this one, my lowest value is 42, my lower quartile is 54 and the highest value is 85. So 85 is here, the median is somewhere 70, and the upper quartile is 73, and the lower quartile is 54. Clearly you can see the gaps are quite huge here, because you see 25% of data is here, 25% here, 25% here, and then 25% here. Whereas if you see, this is quite compact compared to the Coach B. So my answer would be, if I try to find the interquartile range, the IQR, the IQR is going to be here 66 minus 53, which is basically 13. But in case of Coach B, the IQR gonna be 73 minus 54. So this is a very interesting question where you are actually doing analysis. And if you find this is coming out to be 19, so the IQR is huge here. It means the data are more varied. So Richard is definitely not correct here, because no, because Coach A has lower IQR. Lower IQR means the data are quite similar. It doesn't mean that they are more varied, they are actually more similar. Okay, so question number 12. This is a lovely question. So here we have got the volume of a sphere Q is 50% more than the volume of a sphere P, and the volume of a sphere R is 50% more than the volume of a sphere Q. So find the volume of a sphere P as a fraction. So if we just try to look here, what is the volume basically? How we calculate the volume? The volume of a sphere is actually 4 by 3 pi r cubed. 4 by 3 pi r cubed. Now I'm just assuming the radius is r here. In order to get 50% more volume, it means that this should be 1.5 times more than the volume of P. So 4 by 3 pi r cubed. Okay, so of course this r is different, but we are just trying to find a multiple, so it should be 1.5 times more. And again, r gonna be 50% more, so 50% more, the multiplier I can use is 1.5 times 1.5. So the volume that I have got here for Q, 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Now I need to find the ratio, the fraction between P and R. So a sphere P, so the volume for a sphere P gonna be 4 by 3 pi r cubed divided by 1.5 times 1.5 times 4 by 3 pi r cubed. So I can easily cancel out these two. So 4 by 3 pi r cubed and 4 by 3 pi r cubed is cancelled. I'm left with 1 over 2.25. And if I write it as a fraction, because this is in decimal, so if I remove the decimal from here, I need to multiply this by 100. I will get 100 divided by 225, and I know exactly I'm going to divide it by 25. So 100 divided by 25 is 4, and 225 divided by 25 is 9. So my answer is 4 over 9. So this question actually uses the concepts of multiplier, the concept of volume, and if you know, like you need not to even write 4 by 3 pi r cube, you can actually use V. So if the alternative could be, if you want to make it easier, so V, this is 1.5 times V, and this is 2.25 V, and then you can take the fraction, so V over 2.25 V, and you can even use your calculator. So 1 over 2.25, if you use S to D, you will basically get 4 over 9. So that should be an alternative method for it, or any other valid method is absolutely fine. So here is Jane. Jane bought a new car 3 years ago. Definitely not a very good investment decision in my opinion, because cars are depreciating asset, and precisely that's what this question is telling you, that at the end of the first year the value of the car has decreased by 12.5%. That's huge. The value of the car then decreased by 10% each year for next 2 years. So what happened after end of first year? So end of first year, basically whatever the value of car was, let's say it was X, so it will become X times, I will find the multiplier for 12.5% decrease. So that's 100 minus 12.5, which is going to be 87.5%. And if you will find the multiplier for it, it would be 0.875. So x times 0.875, guys, that's the value of the car after the end of first year. Now for the next 2 years, the value is getting decreased by 10% each. So what is the multiplier for 10% decrease? Can I say 0.9? Because 100 minus 10, that's going to be 90. 90% is 0.9. So at the end of third year, the value of the car, apologies for my bad handwriting, going to be 0.875x times 0.9 whole square. And now this value is being told to us that it should be equal to 17,010 pounds. So I have got 0.81 times 0.875x is equal to 17010. X is equal to, you just have to use your calculator now, divided by 0.81 times 0.875, and I will just use my calculator. So 17010 divided by 0.81, and then it is divided by 0.875. That will give me 24,000. You can see, fellas, buying a new car is not a good deal. You are actually losing money every year. Okay. Question number 14. So OAB is a sector with center at O and radius 7 centimeter. The area of the sector is given to us, which is 40 centimeter square. Calculate the perimeter of the sector. Now, whenever the perimeter question comes into place, you see what you are doing. Basically, you are standing here, you have to walk all the way up, you need to walk this curved part, and then you have to come back. So how much total distance you are going to travel, that's basically the perimeter is. Now, here the sector is given to us, and this sector will be used to find this curved length. So if I use the formula for finding the sector, the area of a sector is defined as theta over 360 times pi r square, and this thing should be equal to 40 centimeter square. We are calculating the theta over here, so theta, I will make theta the subject, so 40 times 360 divided by pi times radius square, which is 49. Okay, so you just have to use your calculator now. So here you will get 40 divided by 3.14 times 360 divided by 49, and it will come out to be basically theta is equal to 93.592. I have used pi as 3.14. If you have the scientific calculator, use pi, you might get a value which is quite near to it. And since we have to do the rounding towards the end, I'm not going to do any rounding here. I will be actually doing rounding towards the end. Now the arc length. So the arc length is basically defined as, if you see the total perimeter or the circumference of the circle. If I will try to find the length of arc AB, so I will represent AB as this. Arc length AB would be defined as theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So here let's see how much it is. Theta is 93.592 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times, here we have got 7. So let's see how much is it. 93 divided by 360 times 2 times 3.14 times 7, which came out to be 11.43 centimeter. And now the perimeter of this surface would be, one of the common mistake is that students actually just find AB and they just forget OA and OB. You need to understand that you are traveling all the way OA, then you are traveling AB, and then you are coming back from B to O. So if you will add all the values, so it would be 7 plus 7 plus 11.43, that would be 25.43. That should be my answer. So any value between 25 to 25.44 is acceptable. I will just write the three significant figures. So 25.4 is my answer. I have rounded it to three significant figures. Question number 15. I think we are halfway through. This should be fine. Here what we have got, there are total 20 glasses in a cupboard. 13 of the glasses are large, 7 of the glasses are small. Roberto takes at random 2 glasses from the cupboard. Complete the probability. So the probability that he would take out a large glass would be 13 over 20, or the probability that he would be taking out a small glass would be 7 over 20. Now he's going to do the thing like the first glass is large, how many glasses that he would be left with, the large glasses. So it would be 12 over 20. It is like without replacement. Think about it, it's without replacement. He's taking 2 glasses and he's seeing them. Your probability is changing. Now if the first glass is large, what the number of small glasses has not changed yet. So the number is 17, but the total number has changed. So here I should be writing 19. Sorry about that. So it should be 19. Whereas if the first glass was a small, the number of large glasses has not changed, but the total number has changed, which is 19. Again, if the first glass was a small, the next glass, the number that I have, the choices that I have is just 6 glasses out of 19. So that's how I will actually complete my tree diagram, probability tree diagram. Work out the probability that Roberto takes 2 small glasses. So basically I have to look into this branch, and it basically means that probability that the first small and second small, since it is an and, you know that you need to multiply. So 7 over 20 times 6 over 19, you are multiplying them up, you will get 742 over 319. 2s are 380. If you write it in the simplest form, it is 21 over 190. That's what my probability would be. So the trick is that it is a without replacement question. Alright guys, question number 16. So E is written as 6.8, correct to 1 decimal place. It is 1 decimal place, so you know the upper and lower bound will be used using 0.5. If you go the lower bound, it should be 6 point, just have to subtract 0.53, so 6.3, and the upper bound for this would be 7. If you just go backward, so from 80, if you just divide 2, so 0.5, sorry about that, 1 decimal place divided by 2 would be 0.5. So if you subtract this, so you will get 6.7 found would be my lower bound, and my upper bound I will add to it. So my upper bound for E would be 6.85. Similarly, one significant figure we are looking at, so my lower bound in this case would be 0.045, and the upper bound in this case would be 0.055. Okay, work out the upper bound of the value of P. Now in order to get the upper bound, basically what we have to do, you have got a fraction, right? And in this fraction, if I want to get the upper bound, basically I should take the upper bound of E and I should take the lower bound of F, because if I will divide it by a lower number, I will get a higher fraction. Basically, if your denominator is small, your fraction is big. So I will take the lower bound here. So I will put it in my calculator. So 2E over F. Why I'm writing it again? So you will have 2 times E gonna be 6.75. That's the lower bound. Yeah, I'm just making mistakes. Sorry about that. So you will take 6.85, the upper bound, and the lower bound that you will take is 0.045. So you just use your calculator. I'm just going to use my TI Inspire now. And I always recommend that whenever you're having this, always try to strive for the best one. So I will add a calculator here. I need a square root of 2 times 6.85 divided by 0.045. My answer came out to be 17.4483. Since I have to give my answer in three significant figures, so my answer would be approximately equal to 17.4. That's what my answer is gonna be. Now we are at question number 17. Okay, so there are some small cubes and there are some large cubes in a bag. The cubes are red or cubes are yellow. The ratio of the number of small cubes to the large cube is 7:17. The ratio of the number of red cubes to the number of yellow cubes are 3:15. So of course there can be the cubes, the large cubes can be red or they can be yellow. So we have got this probability. We have to look into what we have got here. If you try to find what is the sum of the ratios, so it is 4 plus 7, that's 11, and 3 plus 5, that's 8. Explain why the least possible number of cubes in the bag is 88, because you have got the total number of the parts that we are looking here, and if I do 11 times 8, it should be 88. We should have at least 88 because the two condition must met, the size as well as the color. So you can just give the reason, because both the condition should be made, and that is only possible when you have got at least 88 cubes. All small cubes are yellow. Now we have got a different situation over here. So we have got all small cubes are yellow. Work out the least possible number of large yellow cubes. Okay, so here what we have got, 4 plus 7, that's gonna be 11. So if I have got total 88, that's the least that we have got, and 11 divided by 88 divided by 11, that's gonna be 8. And if I do 3 plus 5, which is 8, and if I divide 88 by 8, that's gonna be 11. Now we are going to see the small to large. So the small ratio large, that's gonna be 4:7. So if I multiply them by 8, so I will have here 4 times 8, 32, ratio 56. I'm multiplying both by 8 actually here. And if I see red to yellow, the color, so the ratio, the original ratio was 3:5, and I will multiply them by 11. So that will give me an idea, 33:55. And since we are talking about the least, so there are total 55 yellow cubes. So yellow cubes are basically 55, but out of which 32 are small, because you got 32 small here. So small cubes that we have got is 32. So you subtract, that will give you the number of large cubes. So that's 23. So we have got 23 large yellow cubes. It was a 4 marker, and quite a good application of ratios was used here. All right, circle theorems. I know some of you really love these kind of questions, so we'll continue. Okay, so clearly this is an isosceles triangle, guys, so we can find these two angles. Now I'm not even reading this question. This is not a good strategy, by the way. You should be reading the question so that you know all the details. So points A, B, C, D are on the line. CD is a straight line. CD is a straight line. It means that this angle would be 180 degree, because if it was not given, we can't assume that this is a straight line because it's not to scale. So BA is equal to BD. It's an isosceles triangle. So if I will take 40, so 180 minus 40 is 140. 140 divided by 2, so this is 70, and this is also 70. All right, we got this part fine. Let's see what we can do further. Angle ABD is given. Work out the size of angle ADE. So we need to find this angle over here. All right, so we can find this. That should not be a big deal. Let's see what we can do. Okay, we have also got a cyclic quadrilateral here, because all these points lie on the circle. So if I use the property of cyclic quadrilateral, this angle is going to be 180 minus 70, which is 110 degree. Okay, this is 110 degrees. So using this is again an isosceles triangle, guys. So these two angles are going to be same. So if I do 180 minus 110, that's 70. 70 divided by 2, so this should be 35, and this is again 35. So this is 35, this is 70. How much should be this angle? Don't you think it should be 180 minus 70 plus 35, which will give me 180 minus 105, which is equal to 75 degrees. Now you should definitely write the reasons, because of course this is a linear pair. This is again cyclic quadrilateral. This is again angles in a triangle. Sum of all angles should be same. Again, you can use isosceles triangle. Yeah, so this much reasoning should be fine. Of course, you should write it in more detailed manner. I'm just explaining, so I'm just going through it. Again, if you think I'm going fast, you can watch this video in lower speed, or if you think I'm going slow, you can watch it in 1.5 or 1.25, whichever makes you comfortable. Alright, question number 19. The straight line L has the equation. This is the equation, and the point A has coordinate this. Find an equation of a straight line perpendicular to L. So first of all, what I will do, I will write the equation of L in y is equal to mx plus c form. So I will write it as y is equal to 4 over 3x plus 7 over 3. And I got my slope. Now I need a perpendicular line. So if I need a perpendicular line through L, it means the slope of perpendicular line, so should be, I will just write it as MP. So slope of the perpendicular line should be negative reciprocal of this, so negative 3 over 4, because they are perpendicular lines. And then it has to pass through A. So I already got y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus c. I will use the point 3 comma minus 5. So minus 5 should be equal to negative 3 over 4x plus c. That is equal to how much, guys? So here we will just try to here instead of x, let's plug in our value 3. So negative 5 plus 9 over 4 is equal to c. Let's see what it is, what we are getting here. It would be equal to 4 is the common denominator. Negative 20 plus 9 is equal to c. That's equal to c is equal to negative 11 over 4. My equation here is y is equal to negative 3 over 4x, negative 11 over 4. I will multiply all of them by 4. That will give me 4y is equal to negative 3x, negative 11. So that's what my answer is. If you want to write like this, or even this form is fine. So both are fine. I like to write them as integers, so that's why I have just multiplied the entire side by 4. Okay, so we have just few more questions left and we will be done very soon. So let's do this one. So h is inversely proportional to p. So it means h is inversely proportional to p. So it means if p increases, h has to decrease. If h is increasing, it means p has to decrease. And we have got p is directly proportional to root t. So we have got two parts over here. All right, so first part that we have to do is that if I want to write a equal to sign, I have to introduce a proportionality constant. And here we have got that p is directly proportional to t. it means I need to introduce another proportionality constant. So we will just call it lambda in this case. So lambda times root t. Okay. Now fellas, what we have got here. So we have got, given that h is equal to 10, t is equal to 144, uh, and t is equal to 144 when p is equal to 6. So let's use this. So 6 is equal to lambda times root under 144. It means 6 is equal to lambda root 144 is nothing but 12. That means my lambda is nothing but 1 over 2. So I got my lambda here. Okay. We need to find a formula for h in terms of t. So we can do that. We can actually write the variables. We can try looking into the variables that we have got. So if I rewrite, sorry, h is equal to k over p. So p was 6. So when p is 6, h is equal to 10. So this will give me an idea that what k is. So here I can find 6 times 10. So k is equal to 60. So k is equal to 60 I got. And I got lambda is equal to half. And now using that we can actually get a formula. So I will write my first formula is h is equal to 60 over p. That's my part 1. And the second one is p is equal to half root t. And I need to get a formula for h. So we will just substitute this p right there. So h is equal to 60 over 0.5 root t, and this 0.5 can be used. So h is equal to 120 over root t. So that's what my final answer is. So that's a 4 marker. Now congrats, we are coming very close towards the end. Let's finish it up, guys. So here we have got x square minus 6x plus 1 is equal to this. For all values of x, find the value of a and b. So we have to just use the vertex form. If I want to write it as vertex form, I will just write x square. I can just write a bracket. I will try to make a perfect square here. So x minus 3 whole square minus 3 square, and here I will have plus 1. So that's what my fx gonna be equal to. And here I can rewrite it as x minus 3 whole square minus 9 plus 1, which will give me x minus 3 whole square minus 8. So this will give me my a is nothing but 3 and my b is nothing but a. You can see they have the minus sign, so don't worry, just write the values as it is. Next part that we have got, write down the coordinate of the turning point of the graph of y is equal to x square minus 6x plus 1. So the turning point is basically going to be the vertex itself. Here the a is positive, so I will have a concave up parabola. So the coordinates are going to be 3 comma minus 8. Why 3 comma minus 8? Because if you will see, the standard form of a vertex form is basically a times x minus h whole square plus k. It should be plus k. Since we are having minus 8, I should be writing minus 8 here. So that's what my vertex would be. Let's proceed further. Question number 22. A good one that we have got. Let's it will require use of calculator. Let's read the question. Whenever you get a long question, don't get scared. You should spend time reading the question. If it is a big question, it means there are more information given to you. And remember, if you have more information, that's always a good sign. It means that you can use all those information. Now, the base ABCD of the prism is a square of side 14 centimeter. Okay, so it is a square of 14 centimeter, fine. And then we have got the cross section of the prism is a shape of trapezium of area this. So we have got the trapezium with area 147 centimeter square, and the CR is also given to us. So the CR is 12. Okay, so what's next? And we have got here, find the size of the angle between the line ST and the base ABCD. So we pretty much have to find this angle. So let's find it. So can we find the length of TC? What is going to be the length of TC? If you look at, if it is a cross section, we can actually use this formula that we have got in order to find the length of TC basically, and we can use it. Okay, so let's see what we have got. So TC is going to be equal to 14 times 3 over 3 plus 4, because you have to understand the point T is lying there. The point T is lying there such that T is the point on BC such that BT ratio TC is 4 ratio 3. So if I have to find the length of any one of them, if let's say what is going to be BT, so BT is going to be 4 over 7 times, you just add the ratio, so 4 over 7 times 14. So that would be the length of BT, and if you want to find the length of TC, so that's what you will use. TC is equal to 14 times 3 over 3 plus 4, which is 14 times 3 over 7, which is 6 centimeter. So we got the length 6 centimeter. Now we need to find the length of TD. So the TD that we have got, how much is this length, guys? This TD, how much is this length? So this is 12. We know that TC is equal to 14. 14 we have got, and can we use this length? This is again 14, and this is the DC is 14, and this length is 6. This is going to be a triangle. So if you look, this is a kind of triangle I have got. So 6, 14, we need to find this hypotenuse. So I can write 14a square plus 6a square, which is going to be 232, a square root 232. So that's what I have got here. And let's see, we have got DC, and then this dt is quite useful, so I will write here dt is equal to root under 14a square plus 6a square, which is equal to 232. And let's find the angle. If I want to find the angle, I basically know that what is my length that we have got. If you see here, this is a trapezium and the area is given to us. We need to find this. If this is 12, we do not know this length, so let's find this length. And what will come handy over here is that I know the height is 14, and this is my one of the parallel side, this is the another parallel side. We need to find the length of SD, so let's call SD as X, and we will use the info that we have got. So if I write, I'm just going to do the working here, half times X plus 12 times 14, it should be equal to 147. So this will give me X plus 12 is equal to 147 divided by 14 times 2, that would be 21. So X is equal to 21 minus 12, that will give me X is equal to 9. So now we know this is 9. Now in order to find the angle, I can actually find this angle basically. So you have got a triangle. I will draw another triangle for you, and let's name it for you. So S, D and T. This length came out to be root under 232. This length came out to be 9. We need to find this angle. So can I just do, theta is nothing but 9 over root under 232 arctan, or you guys call it tan inverse. So tan inverse of 9 over 232. Let's use our calculator and find the value. So it is under the square root. So I will use trigonometric function in my calculator. Tan inverse of 9 divided by a square root of 232. Enter. I'm getting answer in terms of radians, so I will just try to change it. 30.577, that's what I got. Let's see if it is correct. So theta is equal to 30.577, and we have to give the answer in three significant figures, so 30.6 degrees. So 30.6 degrees is my answer. So if you have got that, it's correct. So it involves 2-3 steps. I believe this, if I will write it down, this should be easier for you. So this, I will name it T, C and D. So if you don't understand, you can actually go back and view this part of the video. Alright, this is mathematical proof, and I just love these kind of questions. So prove that the difference between the two consecutive square numbers is always an odd number. So if I have to write a consecutive square number, can I write it as, if the first number is n, the second number is going to be n plus 1, and they have said that I need to square them and I need to find their difference. So let's say square them. So I will have n square plus 2n plus 1 minus n square. If you see, you got 2n plus 1, which is equal to odd. Hence, no need to write hence. Let's write the more fashionable one, QED. All done. You just have to write that, because you see that n belongs to positive integer, I have said, which is odd. So if 2n plus 1 is there, so you're making it even by multiplying it by 2, and then since you're adding 1 to it, you're making it an odd number. Question number 24. I saw that a lot of people were not able to write it properly, and perhaps they have not understood this question number 23 correctly. You can even have 2n minus 1. That is absolutely fine, because in order to get an odd number, you have to understand that you get an even number followed by an odd number. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 is even, 3 is odd, 5 is odd, 4 is even, then 5 is odd, 6 is even, then 7 is odd, and so on. So you basically do that. If you multiply a number by 2, you are making it even, and then you are adding 1 to it, you are making it odd. Or if you subtract 1 from it, you are making it odd. Okay. Yeah, this question, another question where a lot of you might have struggled. So let's do it. And I want to spend time here. I want to explain it very well. So what we have got here, so we have got two function fx and gx, and we have got a function h, which is composition of f of g. So if you write hx is nothing but you have to take the function g and you need to substitute it as x in fx. So you will have x plus 3 whole square minus 2 times x plus 3. So that's what your hx is. So let's write what is my hx first. So if I rewrite it, I will have x plus 3 whole square minus 2x plus 3. That's what I have got. Now I'm going to write the inverse. The first step of writing the inverse is I will write it as in terms of x and y, and then I will exchange x and y. So x is equal to y plus 3 whole square minus 2y plus 3. Let's rewrite it. So let's open the bracket and see what we are getting. So you'll have y square plus 3 times 2, so 6y plus 9 minus 2y minus 6. Can we rewrite it again? So we will have here y square plus 4y plus 3. That's what my x is. Now in this case, there are two things that you can do, my friend. You can actually try to find the answer in terms of y. So you bring that 3 over there and you do that. Or alternatively, the one another thing that can be done is that you can use the vertex form. Like perhaps using the vertex form would be easier way to do this question. So let's do this. All right, so we have got this thing. Let's see where we are going. Okay, so let's bring this x to the other side as well, so that we can write it as 0. So y is square plus 4y plus 3 minus x is equal to 0. Okay, so if you want to use vertex form, you're free to do so, or you can use quadratic formula. I'm going to use quadratic formula. So y should be equal to minus b plus minus root under b square, which is 16 minus 4ac. So a is 1, c is 3 minus x, and I will divide it by 2. This will give me minus 4 plus minus root under 16 minus 12 plus 4x over 2, which is negative 4 plus minus root under 4 plus 4x over 2. I can actually take 4 common, and that will give me y is equal to, if I take 4 outside, I will have here negative 1 plus minus, I can't take 4 out. Let me first simplify it properly. So I will have negative 4 plus minus 2 root under 1 plus x. I have taken 4 outside, and if you take the square root of 4, you will get 2 outside divided by 2. And let's divide everything by 2, so I will have negative 2 plus minus root under 1 plus x. Now here you need to understand one very important thing, that x has to be greater than negative 2, else you won't be able to find the inverse. And if x is greater than or equal to negative 2, here you can't get this value. Like if you are writing x as equal to negative 2, there's a big problem. Like the problem would be that you will get something which is not defined, and you have to understand you will always get a value over here which is going to be greater than or equal to negative 2. So this is problematic. This is really problematic. So we will see if there is anything else that can be done. Okay, but by the way, you have to understand this condition is imposed on hx. When I'm finding the inverse, so the function is defined like this. So the function is greater than minus 2, and what is happening if you will put minus 2 there? So you will get the y value is going to be 1 and minus 2, so that's gonna be minus 1. So at x is equal to minus 2, y is equal to minus 1, so that's what you will get, a function like this. And when you will find its inverse, the values should actually interchange. So x values should change to y values, so it should be actually the domain and range are going to change. So here your value will be something like this. So it should actually start from minus 1, and that is absolutely fine, and we will only get positive values. So my answer should be minus 2 plus root under 1 plus x. That's what my answer should be. I can't write plus and minus, because if you will write plus and minus, you are actually writing a function which is not a function. It will fail a vertical line test. If you draw a vertical line, it will actually meet twice. So in order to ensure that it is a function, we have to write only plus x. And I hope it is making sense, because you have to understand your hx has domain. Your x belongs to minus 2 to infinity, and your y belongs to, if you put minus 2 over there, what you are getting? You are getting 1 square, which is 1, minus uh, 2 basically, which is minus 1. So your y belongs to minus 1 comma infinity. So when you are doing h inverse of x, it means that domain and range will exchange. So here your x will belong to minus 1 to infinity, and your y will belong to minus 2 to infinity. So that's always true for a function and its inverse, and that's what my answer should be, because I can't have both plus and minus. That's what I will get over there. All right, so we have got question number 25, the second last question of the paper. The line with the equation y is equal to x plus 2 intersects the curve with the equation this at point A and B. So let's see what we can do over here. If they are going to intersect, it means they will have a common point. So I can replace the y in this equation by x plus 2. So that's what I will do. X square plus x plus 2 whole square minus 2 times x plus 2 is equal to 24. Now let's open the bracket and try to solve it. X square plus 4x plus 4 minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 24. What it will give us? 2x square plus 2x, and this 4 and 4 will get cancelled. I will bring this 24 to other side, so negative 24. I can take 2 common, so x square plus x minus 12 is equal to 0. I can actually use middle term splitting. So x square plus 4x minus 3x minus 12 is equal to 0. Middle term splitting is basically factorizing. So x plus 4 minus 3x plus 4 again. I will take common x minus 3 times x plus 4 is equal to 0. It means x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 4. Now you can substitute this value back there. So if x is equal to 3, your y is going to be 5. And if your x is 4, your y is going to be 4 plus 2, which is 6. So the points are 3 comma 5 or 4 comma 6. That's what we are going to write. Oh, this is going to be negative 4, my bad, because x is equal to negative 4, and if I put negative 4, so my answer should be negative 2. I think I just got carried away. I often do. This is something that we all should be mindful of, fellas, because math is like a meditation. When you are just doing it, you just keep doing it, and the flow is so smooth that sometimes you just forget. So always be mindful of what you are doing, and you should not just go in the flow, otherwise you will often make mistake like I did. Okay. Here we have got ABC is a triangle, the midpoint of BC is M, all right, and P is a point on AM, and AB is vector 4A and AC is a vector 2B, and AP is given to us as 3 over 2A plus 3 over 4B. All right, so we have to find the ratio of AP and PM. Okay, that is nice. Let's see what we can do. All right, can we first find an expression for BC, because that's required over here, no? So can we find a expression for BC? You have to go from B to C. So how you can come from B to C? So B to C can be written as BA plus AC, and which is negative 4A plus 2B. That's what my BC is going to be. And since the midpoint of BC is M, so I can basically say that BM is nothing but negative 2A plus B, and BC is again going to be negative 2A plus B. All right, so we have got BM and we have got our vector MC. Okay, so let's see what we have to find now. We need to find the length of PM, no? So PM, can I write PM as MC plus CA plus AP? So what PM gonna be? So PM is going to be negative 2A plus B plus CA. So CA is opposite of AC. So I should write minus 2B, and then AP should be written as it is. So 3 over 2 plus 3 over 4B. Now let's combine them up, whatever we can combine. So negative 2A, negative B plus 3 over 2A plus 3 over 4B. All right, so let's see. Negative 2A and 3 over 2, so that will give me negative A over 2, so negative half, basically negative 2 plus 1.5 is going to be negative a over 2, and here I have got negative b and this. So if I take, I will have negative b over 4. So that's the length of PM we have got, and now we need to find their ratios. So what we can do, let's see. So AP ratio PM, what we have got AP as. So AP is 3 over 2A plus 3 over 4B, and PM is negative A over 2 and negative B over 4. Now, when we are looking at AP, it's no longer a vector, but it's just the length that we are looking at. So that's very, very important that we are just looking at the length. And for that reason, I should actually use the sign modulus. And when I'm using the modulus, it means that both of them should be positive. That's for sure. Okay, so what we can take common? If you will look here, if I just take 3 common from the numerator, I will get a over 2 plus b over 4, and in the denominator I have got a over 2 plus b over 4 already. I can cancel it out, and my ratio that I am getting, that is basically AP ratio PM is nothing but 3 ratio 1, and that's what my answer is, and that's how we have ended this paper. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful.